Hey everyone, Devolo here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over exactly what is going on in Tokyo Revengers, along with, I guess, my thoughts and predictions as to why the series could have taken such a differing direction with this final, or supposedly final season. But just before we do continue, if you do want me to continue making more videos on the recent events throughout Tokyo Revengers, then let me know down in the comment section below and try and push this video to 2k likes. If we can smash that, then I'll make a bunch more content with the latest happenings throughout Tokyo Revengers, obviously, now that I'm all caught back up. So, I guess this is an extremely difficult video to make, but over the past few months, I think it's been pretty safe to say that Tokyo Revengers has taken a completely different turn with its storyline. It's honestly still too early though to be saying that the series is trash or has fallen off, as if you look at any of the statistics, it is still constantly selling near the top of the Japanese sales rankings each week. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that it hasn't definitely made some blunders in the eyes of a huge majority of the Western fans. So initially, I really thought that this final arc was adding an extra level to the story that it just didn't feel like it had before. The first part of the story had a very raw Bosuzoku feel to it, which is, for those unsure, a Japanese youth subculture associated with customized motorcycles. Pretty much just delinquent gangs riding around on dope bikes fighting each other, causing an absolute ruckus, like literally what Tokyo Revengers had going on throughout the majority of the story. Now this may have been my fault obviously for over-expecting in the growth of the overall world, but I know I wasn't 100% alone. Like, get this, after the time skip, it initially felt like things had risen up a level, with all these new gangs now operating like individual groups of Yakuza fighting for control throughout Japan. Instead of just driving around on bikes and fighting each other, they would now be fighting each other for control over different laundering locations, jobs from prospective rich clients, or even just parts of law enforcement, and it especially felt like that was the case after being introduced to Sanzu and seeing her stuck in a meeting with clients who wanted protection over their business. It was super compelling and it kept adding more and more to be hyped about, like introducing the first generation Black Draken members, who just happened to be made up of the so-called strongest people in the entire country, then giving this crazy ass new gang, the Rokuhara Tandai, a stupidly strong boss that seemed to know absolutely no bounds at all. Like the dude just came over from Brazil and started murking people. It was absolutely fantastic. Of course though, we have to talk about the initial first blunder that I didn't actually think was that bad of a deal to start with. However, with all the developments over the recent chapters and how the villain of the series seemed to pay no attention to it at all, hurt me to my damn core. This is, of course, Big Brother Draken and his death at the hands of just some complete, random fodder dude with a gun. So as I said, I thought this started off somewhat alright, with Draken definitely having the most meaningful passing out of any character throughout the series, like to us, the readers that obviously is, along with Takemichi and the real core Toman members. What left me really disappointed was that simply some complete random took out our boy, like it wasn't Sanzu, who's meant to be the mastermind of this season, or the leader of the Rokuhara Tandai. No, it was some absolute random, which I guess to start with, I thought was kind of cool as it showed me that the overall level of the danger throughout the world was rising, yet after Mikey and his new gang paid no mind to this murder, it rubbed me like completely the wrong way. Like his death was just nothing to a bunch of his supposedly old friends. Although obviously side note, because this literally only just happened, but finally Coco saw the damn light and switched up on Mikey for the best fucking boy in your pay. But it's taken him almost too long, but still like obviously finally. So, of our first major conflict of the series, the battle of the three deities, which to be honest was a really fire battle. A lot of people who were hyped up for obvious reasons. They were really freaking strong and had some dope ass backstories, like Benkei and Wakasa especially were some of my favourite additions, and they multiplied the community's love for Shinichiro, as he somehow managed to bring these two powerhouses together. The person though that was meant to be the strongest, the absolute menace south, turned out to be an absolute punching bag for a mentally insane Sano Manjiro. Like he was stronger than everyone else there, but all this hype behind a dude and he got completely and utterly obliterated in a matter of moments. Sadly, obviously the favelas didn't mean crap against Kanto's god. It was hype as shit for Mikey's side of things though, seeing his darkness evolve into this unstoppable and physically unbeatable force that it currently is. This darkness, however, is probably where the biggest gripe from every single Tokyo Revengers fan comes in. Like, I understand expanding the underlying plot of the story, but this time it really didn't feel like it was needed. Obviously, I can't say too much because the story isn't finished yet, as I said at the beginning, and as we saw in chapter 250, there must be some other reason for Sanzu getting his scars than what Sanju, obviously keeps thinking. Because honestly, this made me really upset as well, and get mad at me down in the comment section below all you like, or let me know your thoughts on this as well, but the whole idea that Mikey's dark urges originated from Sanju dropping and breaking the stupid Concord jet, then blaming that on Sanzu, really annoyed me. Like, I really hope that there is a good explanation for how they developed from that, which Waikui is going to expand more on, because at the moment it's completely and utterly pathetic. Like, my reasoning for this is because Mikey had his brother get murdered by his best friend, and for the whole damn story, the reason for his dark urges starting has been that. The person he looked up to the most in life and wanted to be like the most, dying. But no, all of a sudden he had developed these urges during the time that Shinichiro was alive, and it's because of a toy breaking? Like, it's the most childish reasoning for wanting to actually kill people. Like, dude, I understand your brother dying, then slowly over time you develop a bad mentality. Then each time a close friend dies, it multiplies, making his dark urges even worse. But right now, it's got something to do with Sanzu that we don't even know. Like, did a 4-year-old Sanzu somehow kill Mikey's parents? Like, what the actual heck drove Mikey to gain these actual urges? It was like the perfect reasoning for them though, just up and disappeared in my eyes. But oh well, that's obviously my gripe personally. Apart from that one large thing there, I still absolutely do love reading the series, although I prefer binging it more than, obviously keeping up with it weekly, as that's just how I like to do things in general, even with like anime and stuff. Like, everything after Mitsuya and his close show with that chapter has looked more and more on the up. But that being said, I'm very afraid for the outcome of this battle that is currently going on, because as we know, this was initially meant to be the final arc, yet it's already been split into 2 different arcs by the community. The 3 Deities arc technically ended after the first major battle, as the 3 Deities are literally no more. They've been absorbed into different groups, and I guess exactly what is going on now could be considered the final arc, but even still, it's hard to say how much longer the story is going to go for precisely, as it doesn't feel like Takemichi is going to come out on top in this current battle. So I think it's pretty obvious when you look at it what I'm not extremely happy with throughout the final arc. I obviously freaking love the story, and getting into it has helped my channel out exponentially, and I obviously can't thank it enough for that. Yeah, I think the best way to explain what's going on right now is it's just like the Valhalla or Tenjiku arc on complete and utter steroids. We have our main boy Takemichi going up against a close friend or even best friend in Mikey. Everyone is getting knocked out in the most unrealistic ways, like somehow Senju lost to Sanzu. It doesn't even make sense to me. Firstly, the dude's a dickhead. He literally uses a weapon, which is just like weakling crap in the first place. Then he just free hits her in the head. Like, why was she so hyped to just get clapped first out of the Toman group? Oh, bro, don't even get me started on Parchin. Why does he think it's a good idea to currently go up against Mikey right now? Pa, you're a teddy bear. This is just not a good idea, bro. And Benkei obviously probably isn't knocked out, but Coco still somehow managed to surprise and smack him in the face, even though he's 10 years older than him, like twice his size. What the fuck as well? Benkei and Wakasa also betrayed their girl Senju, and I'm sitting here like Inyupe just screaming at my monitor. Like, I don't even know what's going on in this battle. It's actually crazy. Honestly, for the longest time, I thought that Inyupe was a traitor who helped in Draken's death, but I'm just completely and utterly dead wrong. He's one of the only people out there that realizes the absolute wackiness of the battle currently going down. Anyway, as I've said countless times throughout this video, I still love this series to death, and when I get annoyed at small things or large things, it's because I really want it to do well over time and not be seen in a bad light like some of the other series. I hate it when I see people going around saying it's trash, so for the majority of people going around on Twitter talking absolute crap as per every week of their life, chill, go touch some leaves and let the author do his thing. We can complain about it when it's finished. This obviously is a terrible analogy, but you're not going to go out and eat a half-cooked steak, then complain that it's half-cooked. Like, obviously wait and enjoy the full meal, then leave a review afterwards. So yeah, that doesn't always apply, but I hope you get where I'm coming from, like, kind of at least. If you have enjoyed the video, then do be sure to hit that subscribe button, and also remember to try and push the video to 2k likes, so I know you're all interested in more Tokyo Revengers content and just my thoughts on it in general. But anyway, for now it's been your professional degenerate, Diavolo, and I will see you all in a bit. Bye.